Alright, boys and girls, I just wanted to go over a quick video on kind of how to keep your wrist safe. There are a couple things you can do in the gym that'll make your, gaming, if you're lifting before you game or you're having issues with like forearm tightness, wrist pain, elbow pain, stuff like that. A couple things that you can do to kind of help alleviate that. The stronger you get, the more likely these issues are going to come up. They will eventually happen to everyone. It's only a matter of time. So you can do a couple things to alleviate those. So I have a couple different pairs of wrist wraps. I've already got these ones on. These are called lifting grips. I think they're called hooks from some sites as well. Depends on the brand. So my lifting straps are all by Gym Reaper, which is a very solid brand. I got the shirts and everything. They're pretty good. They sponsor a lot of bodybuilders that I follow. I got Iron Rebel for the wrist wraps. Again, like any of these companies are going to be solid. Any known brand are going to have pretty good quality. These things last for basically forever. I've had these probably for almost 10 years. They're still good as new. I don't use them all the time, but again, like there's something that they only cost anywhere from 20 to 40 bucks, and you're only going to really need to buy one pair. If you are hard on money and you only want to pick one thing, I would suggest just regular wraps. You can probably get them at a supplement store for like 10 bucks.
Or free if you spend enough.
Or free if you buy like enough protein powder, they might just throw them in. So if you are on a budget, these are definitely worth it. And I use these the second most. So we'll first go over the grips. The grips I actually don't like, but a lot of people love them. So I just wanted to show you them. They're just like a kind of a plasticky kind of grip thing. And basically, as we all do, I have a 2,000-pound Eleiko Olympic lifting bar here in my house from that pandemic that happened. And basically all you do with these is you just kind of grab it, and then it's just kind of like in your hand. Like, it's not quite like using these straps, which I'll show you in a minute, but it definitely takes off a lot of your grip, and it will stop it from rolling out of your fingers. When the bar rolls down or the dumbbell or anything. And these are very nice that you can kind of use them whatever. Use them on machines, use them on dumbbells. They're probably the jack of all trades. You can kind of just keep them on for your workout. So for people that like these, like again, this is just a preference thing. I don't particularly love these, but a lot of people like them. So I use these the least, but I do use them sometimes, like lat pull downs, stuff like that. These are my favorite. Figure 8 straps. These are my favorite. They are awesome for deadlifts. It's my girlfriend's favorite as well. It's baby Kitty's favorite. Basically with these, they're going to make your deadlifting awesome. They're going to make your barbell rows awesome. You can even use them for like assisted pull-ups, T-bar rows, that kind of stuff. They are harder to get to work on dumbbells though. They're not very good for dumbbells, so so I always bring these just in case. But these ones, I'll just show you how they work. They might look a little bit confusing. All you do is you put your hand in one side, you wrap it under the bar, and you put your hand through, and then you're locked in. So if you do it right, as you can see, I can open my hands, and I'm not even really gripping the bar anymore. So for things like rows or deadlifts, the nice thing is you can kind of sit there and focus more on the muscle and not really have to worry about the grip, because we'll all run into the point in some capacity where your grip is going to fail you. Whether that's a deadlift or a barbell row, at some point the grip is going to be a limiting factor. Now if you don't care and you're like, yeah, I just want to be as strong as possible, I don't care about gaming, my suggestion is just throw these on when your grip does fail, because there's no point of not getting more work in on your back because your hands are limiting you. That's my logic. So, and that's what I usually do, is I usually don't use them until I need them. But if I was playing professionally like I used to, I would always use them on important days, and I would try to limit fatiguing my hands, because once this gets all tight in here, you can definitely feel like a stiffness in your wrist. So those are my favorite. They just don't work on every machine. Some machines you won't really be able to get them on, and that's where these come in. Will work on everything basically. So with these, it's just they have a little bit of a learning curve. So putting one hand in is not that difficult. Sorry, I just got to get this in. So doing one hand is pretty easy, right? Because what you do is you put your hand in here, you wrap it around the bar, and then you grip and you're locked in, right? The problem is, once the other hand's in, then you don't have anything to help you, so you have to learn to kind of like, sorry, this is on a little bit backwards, sorry. See, we all make mistakes. So with here, if my other arm can't help, I have to learn to kind of like wrap it around myself with one hand, which is a little bit of a learning curve. But once you get it, it'll be no big deal. But I'm just saying, like, that does screw with it. Screwed with me, and I know it's a little bit annoying. I often feel like the side that got help with the hand is a little bit tighter than the other one. But again, the more you do it, the better you'll get. These work on dumbbells, literally everything. So, like I said, these would be the ones I would get first, unless you really want the figure eights. The figure eights are my favorite. So then we go into wrist wraps. These are not so much for grip, but kind of like saving your wrists. So a lot of problems is, like, a lot of you guys like benching. I see all of you guys in the gym one rep maxing your benches every day. So what you want to do here is you want to kind of like pull it as tight as you can, and you want to get it at the top of your hand. You don't want to be down here. This is going to do nothing. You want it to be kind of like tight up here, and I'm going to do kind of a poor job, but you want to just wrap it around. And when you do it tight enough, my wrist can't really move. Like, it's really locked in. So when the bar is sitting here, it can't push my wrist back. You see, it's literally stuck. It's stuck there. It can't move. So, yeah, there's very little that it can do. So if you get it right, and I often will take this little thumb out, but that's just a preference thing. So I don't use these all the time, but if you are dealing with wrist problems, or you're getting to the point where your bench is getting too heavy and you feel like it's compromising your wrist, I would definitely suggest a pair of these, because they do help. They do make you feel sturdier for things like shoulders and bench press, although you're probably not going to need them for a ton of things other than like maybe dumbbell bench, shoulders, shoulder press, stuff like that with dumbbells and barbells. If you're using machines and stuff, I don't notice these being as useful, so do with that what you will. These are more just like a preference thing. And then obviously everyone knows about knee sleeves and elbow sleeves. I never used elbow sleeves. I do have knee sleeves where I do legs, but I would say elbows are just preference. Do you think you need them? Do you get tendonitis in here? Then it's probably a good idea to pick some up. But again, I like to try to use the least amount of support for my wrist as I can. Like, I recently stopped using a belt, which I can do a video on. If you guys want to learn how to properly use a belt and brace, just let me know in the comments. I can show you guys how to do that. But I think this is going to help a lot for gaming, and it's not really going to take away from your performance in the gym. It's only going to help. So I would highly suggest checking out some of these products. And again, I'm not sponsored by any of these companies, although Gym Reaper, if you would, if you'd like, I'm just over here, shilling your gear for free. So, yeah, I mean, honestly, like, there's a bunch of brands. There's Iron Rebel, there's Rogue, there's Gym Reaper. There's a bunch of companies out there that you can find that will have solid products. But like I said, I just like Gym Reaper because they actually have 4XL shirts that are in stock, which you might think is not that it wouldn't be that uncommon, but I'm telling you, they sell out instantly.
And the shirts are soft.
Yeah, the shirts are soft, and they seem to last pretty long. They're pretty durable. So yeah, I like them. And yeah, that's just kind of my video on kind of how to save your wrists and your joints a little bit. And again, like I said, if you're using a lot of machines, you're not going super heavy, you probably don't need these. But if you're kind of in that intermediate stage where you're starting to get stronger, maybe you're at like a 2-plate bench, maybe you're deadlifting around 3 to 4 plates, and your mixed grip is kind of like fatiguing you, or the deadlift bar is falling out of your hands, this will take away from your gaming performance, from my experience. So that's when I start throwing on straps and trying to program your lifts away from important games. So if you have important matches or events, I would stop deadlifting heavy around that time, to either do it after the match or skip a week. There's nothing wrong with not doing deadlifts for a week and doing another week. You might find you're even stronger. Some of the strongest humans on the planet deadlift every other week, and they squat heavy every other week. So if you ever have an important match and you're thinking about deadlifting and you have all the stuff, it's fine to do lighter deadlifts, speed deadlifts, practice doing maybe pause squats instead of heavy squats, and then doing the heavy one the next week when you have a less strict schedule. So yeah, that's it for me. And like, subscribe, join the Discord. It's in the comments, and I'll put some links in there for the products for you as well.